What up? We are back. Words with Bay. I don't even where we at. I don't know what episode this is.
At this point, we shouldn't even keep track of that.
I don't think we should. Nah, this is I don't know when this one's even gonna come out right now.
Episode 5. Though.
Episode 5 a little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm Alan AI. Along here with my co-host and friend and partner in life and crime and everything else. Who are you?
Maria.
Okay. So we have our first special guest couple. You all will probably see them a lot.
Emphasis
Actually,
on special couple. Emphasis on special.
What's special about them?
Because they're family.
They are family. They're my family, and I guess they're soon to be your family too, right?
Yeah. Well, you know.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes.
So all the way over there is that's my cousin Myron. First cousin. We grew up. You got some years on me, not a lot, but a few.
And lots of embarrassing stories.
Lots.
We're gonna have to start the episode off with at least one embarrassing story. At least one.
I don't know. He probably remember more than me.
At least one. We don't have to do it right now, but I need to hear at least one.
I used to
I
take.
didn't know that this was a thing. These embarrassing stories.
I used to take karate, so I used to try and practice karate on them. They used to beat me up.
Gosh.
So him and my cousin Justin, his brother Justin, they used to beat me up.
I'm already on Seltzer 3.
There you go. Yeah, they used to beat me up. I used to take karate at the YMCA. So it worked for a little bit. Like that first kick I got in out of nowhere, that was it.
Okay.
That was it. Yeah.
And then we also have very special guest Karima with us today. And Karima, you are Myron's extra special significant other.
Extra special, only other.
Alan, I feel that because Alan's always trying to, he's always trying to turn bae and all that into plural, baes, words with baes, and, girls. And it's very singular.
Why you hating them? That's all in the mic. We ain't got no White Claw sponsorship. You up here all in the camera.
One day.
Ain't no White Claw get at us.
One day.
So I mean, babe, you leading this one today. I gave you the reins. I don't even know what's happening right now. I'm just happy to be here. We just ate good and fellowshipped.
Yeah.
Fellowship is good.
Yeah.
We actually had Jerk Soul, which was pretty good. So shout out to Jerk Soul.
We're gonna shout out Jerk Soul, yes.
They're over, if you're in the St. Louis area, they're over on Cherokee
Street, South Side.
Yeah, so it's pretty good. But I wanted to, you guys probably know if you've been following our podcast and our episodes, I've been so excited to bring on a guest couple and actually start to get some varying perspectives. Because I feel like me and Alan, we'd be going head to head and it's just like me versus him. And I need an ally in the room. And Alan needs an ally too.
She my family though.
But she can still understand. But she can understand from a woman's perspective, what certain situations are like.
Don't be scared.
I'm cool.
You are feeling a little bit tense because now that I have an ally, things are a little tense.
It's still girls and bass. Still girls and bass. Bass.
Karima, I don't know if we'll ever become cousins based on this.
Look, if any of my bass are listening now.
You really, it's what you drinking on, Alan?
Because it's something.
I know you really acting up.
I'm drinking on Hendrix.
I see.
I'm drinking on gin today.
It's about to get litty.
Drinking on gin. Yeah, I'm drinking on Hendrix. So,
it's getting litty.
You know what? We got an icebreaker, right? What's the icebreaker?
What's the embarrassing story, Myron?
She like.
Why
she
you
said
back?
That one with
I'm finna call some of your cousins.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna put that out there just yet.
Yo, hang tight.
Yeah. Well, since now you guys know how we all know each other, Alan and Myron are cousins, And me and Karima, over the past couple years, we've become cool through family holiday stuff. It's been awesome. And now she's become my ally on Words with Bay. So she will be back in future
I will be back.
episodes. So I just want to put that out there. She will be back. And she's already given us really awesome ideas on how to go forward with the podcast. So she'll be bringing really awesome content to you guys. So I'm really excited about that too. But I wanted to, something that me and Alan.
Y'all got to talk into the mics.
Is this better if I lean over like
Probably.
this?
I don't know. I can't gauge it right now, but these are not shotgun mics that just pick up everything. These are mics that you talk to like this when you're on the radio.
Okay, let me sit like you.
I just want because then everybody y'all chilling like we on a Steven Spielberg set, like with the boom out like this, and these ain't them kind of mics. So I can get some of those. We can get some of those.
Huh?
Continue.
Let's not even get into that. But I wanted to chat with you guys about a really interesting topic that we kind of already discussed when we were recently at your house, and just about supporting your partner through the grind, because me and Alan, we had like a tough period in our relationship not too long ago, actually. It was like a year ago?
When was this?
This was when I was in Chicago.
Okay, that was more than a year ago now.
Yeah, it was like almost like a year and a half ago, but it was like a year and a half of just strain on the relationship. And we could potentially face another period like that in the near future, depending on how life plays out. But I think Alan is considering different things, so we could potentially face another situation like that. So we need to get this straight now, so we don't go through what we went through.
What you put my business out in the world for? What I do? I ain't do nothing to nobody, brother. This is why people be approaching me in public, dog. I heard the podcast, nigga. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, your girl ain't looking too happy over there. Yeah, what you finna do? Oh, what's gonna happen, dog? Yeah, you moving? Oh, okay. Y'all be long distance again, huh? Yeah. Yeah. You love putting me out there. See, I'm real cool with you. I don't do you like that. But since this the second time you done me like this, bro.
What was the first time?
When you were like, yeah, even though you're not really that established yet.
I did not say that.
Yeah. In so many words. I'm gonna send y'all the episode, bro. This is like episode 1 or 2 when we were talking about my transition to corporate America, right? And I've only been in corporate America for 4 years now. So, of course, when you get in corporate at my age, you still got to work your way up. But I'm still an asset to wherever I go, right? But I still had to work my way up. So she was like, it's just a transition, and da-da-da-da. And basically was like, yeah, you a broke boy. And I was like, bruh. I was like, this is how we gonna do it, huh?
That's
Okay. So I left it alone. But it's the second time. I'm coming for you, dog. I'm coming for you. Just know.
So, hold on, stop. Because anybody who saw the first episode knows that actually Alan put himself out there. And I simply co-signed what you said. I said, yeah, basically. And that's how we got on that topic, because you said that you were in a certain situation.
Sound a little flimsy.
That real flimsy. Like, you know how you got the little twig that like that? That's what it is. Yeah, we'll talk later.
Okay.
We'll talk later.
So anyways, I'm not meaning to put you out there or anything like that. But,
too late.
But I definitely would like to hash this out, so that way we have like a decent understanding of like how to go forward. So why don't you give them a little bit of background into what that year and a half was like when I was in Chicago?
Yeah. So if you've listened to the commentary podcast, which I'm 1/3 of, I've already told this story, right? Because you yelled at me because you said that I was putting you out there or something. Remember that? No.
Oh, you mean that one time you put me out
there?
No,
I didn't put you out there. Anyway,
no, hold on.
Long story short, Maria and I met in St. Louis here, and she was kind of thinking about, changing employers, switching employers.
I wasn't thinking about. I was.
She was actively pursuing
because I had a manager who was actively trying to basically get me fired.
Don't that suck?
I would say that I was a pretty valuable employee. I had like awards from my client that the client had given me, letters saying thank you, good job, and a manager that said I wasn't actually contributing anything, which is crazy, right? So when I went to the VP and I said, hey, this isn't lining up. My manager's saying this, but I literally have awards and recognition from our client that says something completely different. What are we going to do about this? And so she made that manager go to manager's training. And I'm like, that's cool, but she still has a vendetta against me. So I left because I wasn't about to.
So you left and went where? I didn't mean to cut you off.
I went to Chi-Town.
Which is where you're, for the most part, from, right?
Well,
yeah, military brat. It's okay. You spent most of your life in Chicago.
I spent the important years in Chicago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, that was 2018. That was 2018, March 2018. So, we started hanging kind of tough around June of 17. And you left March of 18. So you're gone. And I'm transitioning. At that time, I was working in financial services, investments, and life insurance. And when I met you, I was making a little bit of money when I met you. But if you've ever been a financial advisor or financial services representative, depending on what city you're in, sometimes that well dries up quick. So I decided that I was going to explore other things, right, within the financial services industry. And I ended up landing a job in fintech, financial tech. But it required me to travel 75% of the time. And you were in Chicago. I have a son. And I was not seeing him except for on the weekends, pretty much, right? So I have a son in St. Louis that I'm not seeing. I have a girlfriend in Chicago that I'm not seeing. So any chance I got, if anybody knows me, I'm a very active father. If anybody that knows me, I'm a very active father. If anybody knows me, I'm a very active father.
You're a good father, we know.
No, that was for the feds that's watching. Anyway, so I got a son that I'm not seeing. I have a girlfriend I'm not seeing. And, this outside of family, friends, whatever. So any chance I got, I shot back home, right? So we got into turmoil because I was not coming to Chicago in between cities, right? Because I would be gone anywhere from Sunday. I would fly out anywhere from Sunday or Monday. I would be gone from Tuesday to either Friday or Saturday. And sometimes I'll get back Saturday and literally have to get back on a plane Sunday.
How it is. I used to be a flight attendant. So
I forgot you used to be a flight attendant.
It was rough. I remember. I feel you.
So then you guys have the best perspective to give us on finding that balance. I think that's like what I really want to get out of this conversation is how do we find balance when you have somebody that's on the grind, whatever that grind looks like, because even if you're not traveling out of town, you could be gone quite a bit because you're in your office all day, maybe even into the evening on the weekends. How do you find that balance in your relationship? What do you guys think?
Y'all keep talking. I'm going to go grab something real quick. I'll be right back, y'all. Y'all keep talking.
Go ahead, man.
You want me to go first?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, you know what, girl? I don't even know.
Yeah.
Because we ain't figured it out yet. We just, you just do what you have to do. And I don't know if that's easier to say because we are married. And you and Alan aren't. That's not to say that
and Alan's still talking about bays and girls, so that presents a whole other level of
just
complication.
Just keeping you on your toes,
it's just
jokes.
Now, what if I was talking about days.
Yeah, listen, we all know this is all
Be a little
talk
bit
because
different.
if it was the tables was turned, these Lindsay men, they can act cool and sly and chill all they want to. But let me just tell you something. If somebody look at me a second too long, Myron be like, you see why he looking at you like that? And I'm like, what are you talking about?
Mhm.
So you saw him look, and I'm like, what? So yeah, that's girl. It's okay.
Mm.
But yeah, honestly, I don't know. Like you just kind of do what you have to do. I mean, you know that the person is working, they doing what they have to do. So, you know, you can't. How do you get mad at that? You just have to do what you have to do.
Yeah.
I think that's the hard part for me sometimes is with Alan in particular, and with that year that we had a year and a half that we had apart, because while yes, Alan wasn't working like 24 hours a day. And Alan wasn't working every single weekend. And that's where I struggled, because you guys took the love languages quiz, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we took the love languages quiz too. And my number one love language was touch. And outside of that, I think it was quality time. So that's where I struggled, because it just felt like I wasn't getting either of those things and like ever. And so I ended up being the one like investing a lot in the relationship and coming back to St. Louis, which I was fine with, but I guess I just needed him sometimes to like specifically say, oh, I want you to come to St. Louis this weekend, or like, I want to see you this weekend. And I felt like that like explicit expression of the desire was missing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, and then, you know, Alan he likes to go out. Would you disagree with that?
I mean, that comes from years of me, you know, being a DJ and on the road and things of that nature. That's just kind of what's in me and who I am, right? I don't necessarily have a desire to do it all the time at home, right? When I'm out at home, it's generally to spend time with my friends. So it's not necessarily like, oh, I got to turn up. I'm finna go see these girls twerk because I've been looking at you all week. It's like, yo, like me and my partners, because they not finna come over here and I'm not finna go see y'all because y'all got y'all own situations, right? So it's like, yo, me and the homies finna link up. We gonna drink, talk, whatever we talk. We gonna look at some girls twerk. We're men, right? That's what men do. Like y'all look at dudes with muscles.
At least you honest about
it. But when you're looking at it though, what are you looking like at specifically?
I mean, so let's be clear.
Like, you're not looking at her, desiring her, or are you?
No, desiring her for what? It's literally, it's just an aesthetic. Like you're looking, you're seeing the physical. Like
it's a base function.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like, right. Like, why do I go to the strip club? Like, I don't even go to the strip club a lot, but why do people go to strip clubs? Right. Or why do 90% of Americans watch porn? Like, you know what I'm saying?
It's like why? Though I actually kind of want to know.
I want to know too. Like,
I don't have the answer. But that's a real statistic. 90% of Americans watch porn.
Right. Whether they admit it or not.
And it's like, why are you like, what is it that why do you feel the need to?
I mean, I don't like get into it.
If you say I don't have a need, then why are you even going?
Again, it's I can't explain for anybody else, but I mean, it's a visual thing. Like it's porn. You're watching.
But why do you need to see this? And I get it. I'm not trying to say like, you know, but I'm saying, what is it about this visual that you need to see? Are you envisioning Maria's face on this woman? Are you envisioning my face on this woman?
I got Maria's face upstairs.
So my point is why do you need to see this particular visual? Why can't you say? Why don't you just?
I'm 1 in 9 people.
I'm just talking about you.
I'm 1 in 9 people. I don't even watch porn like that for real. Like probably in my early 20s.
And why did you watch it then?
I wasn't getting none.
Right.
Like
okay, so you had a reason why you was watching it.
I was on some chili chill at that point in time. Like I wasn't getting none. Like I just.
So there was a reason to why you was watching it. So then a question is still, why do you watch it now? For any reason?
People do things they don't need to do all the time, or don't
Yeah.
But even though they don't need to do it, they do it for a reason.
Or don't have a reason.
They do
to
it because they want to do it. And they want to do it because there's some type of desire there that's causing them to want to do it.
Mhm.
So I'm just wanting to know what the
100%
desire is causing you to want to watch these other women have sex and do all these different things if you say that I'm all you need and I'm only envisioning you.
So I'm gonna cut you off real quick. Do you know what one of the number one categories is?
What is
Gay porn.
it? So then that's
One of the that's like number one, like
that
top threes.
poses a whole bunch of other questions.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm not watching gay porn. We're just gonna put that out there now. we're like, nope. We're not gonna do that. We're not even gonna do that. But that's one of the number one categories of searches. It's gay porn.
So it's not a
Okay.
man-woman thing. It's just
It's
just a thing.
But I'm assuming these people is watching this gay porn because they want to watch it. It turn them on to do something. It arouses them.
I think if I were thinking like, what if it was just curiosity, right?
Right.
Yeah.
If you're not a man and a woman and a woman, maybe their curiosity would peak. Now, my curiosity hasn't peaked like that, but I'm not
We get
dissing anybody. Like, I'm not dissing anybody that had, like, that doesn't bother me, bro. Do what you do. Or sis.
Oh, no,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, whatever it
I
floats
have a
your boat.
question
I
about
just
it.
posed the question.
What's the harm in it? Who's it hurting?
Oh, let's not get into that.
I'm just
No, let's get
Yeah,
into
let's-
it.
That's gonna be a
Who's it
whole
hurting?
other can of worms.
You good?
so if you had a guy that you were with and his way of staying faithful was to watch a little porn every now and then, would you feel like that's an acceptable trade-off?
Why?
I've known of people to do that.
First of all, the fact that you need a way to stay faithful is an issue.
No,
That right there is
I mean,
an
but
issue.
that's just real
If you
life.
need a way to stay
For
faithful,
some people, that's real life.
but for them people, then they don't need to be in no relationship.
So they shouldn't even.
I don't
try,
agree
is
with
what you're
that.
saying.
No, I didn't.
You're
I
saying they
didn't.
shouldn't
Nope.
even
I
try.
didn't say they shouldn't try. I think they need to get themselves together first, to the point that when it's time for them to be in a relationship, they don't have to find a way to be there, but they're there because they want to be there and they're mature.
Kurt Franklin had a
People
porn
that are
addiction.
married have to find a
Yes.
way to be there.
But the thing about it is that he did have that addiction, but he knew it wasn't right, and so he had to do something about it.
Mhm.
I think that comes from a biblical standpoint on that end. Like when you're a super duper Christian, like you have so many expectations on you.
Yeah,
you
that
know.
too. But the thing about porn is, and it's funny because we just had this discussion last night, and somebody was asking like, why is that wrong? And the thing about it is first of all, the word says is that everything is permissible, right? But not everything is beneficial.
Mhm.
So let's talk about this porn, for instance. The reason it could be wrong. Well, what if I'm more engaged in this porn than being intimate with my wife? What if this porn is satisfying me more than my wife? Now, no, you may not in your head saying that I want to cheat on my wife, but you are desiring this over your marriage bed. And so then in that's where it can become wrong.
And that's usually what happens with porn.
Yes.
And porn
How
addiction.
you gonna say usually?
I don't know that that's usually what
Yeah.
happens.
With porn
We're not
addictions.
trying to open up this can of worms.
Porn-
now. Do
porn
you really wanna go
addictions,
here?
okay.
Do you really want to go here?
No.
Porn
That's the
addiction.
purpose of being here
Okay.
is to go.
So let's go here then. And I'm gonna go here for myself first because I don't want to put nobody out there. Masturbation, for instance. So there's always a debate about that. Again, everything is permissible, but not everything is beneficial.
Mm-hmm.
So masturbating, okay. In my head, I'm not thinking about another man. I'm thinking about my husband, right?
Mhm.
However, what if and there was a time that this was true for me, that I preferred the masturbation to being intimate with my husband. So then that's when it became wrong because I was lusting after masturbating
And not your husband.
and not my husband. And then now that's not only me in my mind in the wrong place, but now I'm putting a strain on my intimacy with my husband. Now there's a strain there because now I don't really desire him or he doesn't satisfy me. This toy satisfies me more.
And was that like more prominent when you guys were long distance?
No, not necessarily. I
think
mean,
that
it was just,
there
you
were
know.
I just did a quick search. 78% of adults masturbate.
Okay, I just wanted to
So-
use that
I got you.
put myself out there.
Even with that example, that's
a large number
for everybody else. You know, some people, it's just like some people will abuse drugs, or they'll overeat, or they'll smoke to excess, or whatever, and other people won't. They just use it to get them in the right space to get by.
But it's just like they always say, which is not always true. But first, right now, it's just getting by. That's how it always starts. But the thing about it, that's how it started for me. But when I realized it was an issue, I was like, okay, no, I need to find another way to be satisfied with just my husband. And then, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying go and introduce porn, but I'm just saying let that be my satisfaction first.
Yeah.
Before I introduce anything else.
And I mean, that's your truth. But for everybody else, or for other people, that might not be their truth.
I think I'm struggling with the idea that a man has to get by with porn in order to be in a relationship. Like
Sure,
I'm still
sure he
struggling
does.
with that.
Me
like,
too.
That was an
like,
extreme.
But like, why?
Because
Why do you have to
there's
get
been-
by?
That was an extreme.
Okay, so everybody has vices, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, say your vice is women. You're a man, your vice is women, and you know that. And you know that's a problem for you. And if you're not getting everything you need in the home, that's the lesser of two evils.
Yeah,
At that point,
yeah.
right? Rather than to go out and do what you're accustomed to doing, which is infidelity, debauchery, whatever you want to call it.
So you're saying that if somebody is married and their vice is women, then porn it should be okay. Just because you have
No,
a
I'm not
vice
saying
don't
it should be
mean that it should
okay.
be okay.
I'm not saying it should be okay.
And having a vice, the thing about it is these issues, you can't make up an excuse to make it okay. If it's wrong, it's wrong. You can't say, well, I'm gonna watch this porn and you give all the reasons why it should be okay. It's just wrong. It's just
we should
what
look
it
at
is.
everybody as falling short sometimes on certain
Yeah, I'm not
things.
saying that it can't
when
happen,
you get
but
when you get into absolutes, you get into judgment, and nobody's listening to anybody. So you have to recognize that you have faults and flaws just like everybody else.
Nobody's saying that
I'm just
nobody
saying,
has
when you-
not
when
faults
you
and
get-
flaws. It's just
when you
this,
get judgmental-
whatever's wrong is wrong, and whatever's right is right. It doesn't matter who has the fault or the flaw. I'm not passing judgment on any person.
Do you think that men could potentially rely on porn as a way to get by because they are failing to communicate what they need?
I think
in
we're
their
making this
relationship?
exclusively about men.
I know it's every question is about
I
men.
think we're making this exclusively about men right now,
She was
and I
like,
don't like that.
Oh, if a man cheats on his wife and a man doesn't,
Yeah,
it's
so
like,
why y'all
women
be
do that
watching
too?
porn? Like,
Yeah, we
oh,
watch
so you
porn
ain't
too.
you without sin out here. Okay. Okay.
No, never.
I wouldn't have cheated
Never,
on you if
absolutely.
Karima was very vulnerable and
She
talked
was.
about
I
her
appreciate
masturbation.
that.
So this is not just about men.
Okay,
I'm not going to let you do that.
I'm not ashamed to put myself out there because maybe it'll help
And
somebody
we put Kirk
else.
Franklin out there, so.
Well, that was already out there. You can
Exactly.
Google that, but I'm just saying,
I mean, I know hella dudes that watch porn, so I'll be like,
It's
look,
like-
hey,
the thing about it is somebody might watch this and be like, man, I deal with that too. I didn't
Yes.
even know. You know what I'm saying? So
So, okay, let's say it's not about men specifically.
we went way in the left field. I want y'all to know, but
that's
we're gonna
okay.
come
That's
back. I'm
okay.
okay with it. The conversation's happening. It's organic, so I'm
women
good.
or men, do you think that
how we
masturbation...
go from
We went from supporting your man during his time
Right.
to whacking that thing, You-
It's
We
like,
gonna
wow.
whack that thing.
Slapping the salami.
Go on and get it, fellas.
It
Go on
happens.
and get it.
It
Hey, listen.
happens.
If it takes this episode for you to be vulnerable with your girl, look, tell them AI sent you, bruh. Tell them we sent you, dog. Words with Bae sent you.
Oh, this is
Okay?
good.
Oh, make it happen.
So,
Make it happen.
But seriously though, okay, let's say it's not specific to men or women. Do you think that, because I'm trying to explore this idea of needing to do it to get by, like that's what's like concerning to me. Like
this is what
That
I'm
was
saying.
a very, and I keep saying that was extreme. That was very extreme. Like needing it to get by is simply saying like, hey, maybe, just maybe, right? And I told you this yesterday.
Come on, say just maybe what?
I told you this yesterday. The only thing, but I'm going to be very explicit right here. So Mom, Maria's mom, whoever's listening, the only thing better than good pussy is new pussy, period. Like, that's it, right? I'm going to be vulnerable.
No comment.
Be vulnerable.
Yeah, be vulnerable.
I've had bad
Please.
pussy.
Mhm.
I've had good pussy. And we're not going to get into what makes it bad or good. But at the end of the day, like, I think that we give men this thing, right, of well, why do you want more? Why you got to go look at it? And the simple answer is we're men. We're visual.
Built that way.
Like, that's just what it is, right? It ain't, if we could help it, we would. We generally can't help it.
Let's not.
You see how I'm over here looking? I'm over here like,
I will say that it gets easier as time goes on.
Yeah.
I will say it gets
Okay,
easier.
so there's a lot of curiosity when you're younger.
No, it's not even curiosity.
It's not curiosity.
It's like it's a drive. It's almost like a hand pushing your back almost
Mhm.
to make you do these things.
Can I play devil's advocate?
Of course.
Here?
please.
Because there are some cultures that would call that lack of discipline.
And those same
is what I
cultures
was
cheat,
thinking.
and that's why they flog people in the middle of the town square
Right.
and all that.
Throw 'em
Like,
off the roof.
let's not get it twisted here.
Absolutely.
If you cheat in India, there's videos on YouTube right now where you see the whole town beating these dudes with limbs, not switches, not sticks, limbs in the middle of the town because these dudes done cheated. Like, let's not get it twisted here because it's not just a man thing either, because
It
women
sure
are
isn't.
beheaded and they're flogged and everything else because of infidelities. And the truth of the matter is, I think that
The truth of the matter is,
Oh,
that
damn.
when you feel
like you said, I had to slow up. Oh shit!
I was like, man,
the
it's
truth
real
of the
deep.
matter is that you are not, something is missing. There is something missing in the relationship and in the intimacy. If you feel, whether you are a man or a woman, human nature, whatever, there is something missing. And without telling all my business, I'm say this: when you go out there and you need something other than what you have at home, it's because something is missing. You're not getting something that you feel like you need or that you want. And this is for men or women. I'm not talking about just a man. Something you feel. Now, whether or not it's really missing, I don't know, because we have our own deep-rooted issues that, contribute to the issues we have in our relationships.
Uh-huh.
So, again, but for the person that is feeling like they need something else other than what's at home, for them, there's something missing.
I don't agree
Myron
with that at
seems
all.
like he's strongly
I do not
disagrees.
agree with that at all. Sometimes a trash person is going to be a trash person.
Well, yes, that's true
Yep.
too.
And they will create something missing where there isn't any missing.
I don't agree. I
So-
do not agree with that.
The fact that people are going to go out and do it,
That wine kicking in. That's an inside joke, y'all. That's an inside joke.
It's not always that way.
No, I agree with you wholeheartedly. It is not always that way. But for the people who are, they are committed because they want to be committed, a lot of times it is that way.
Yeah.
Because it's not that they don't love the person that they're with, but
Mhm.
there is something that is missing.
Or they could be creating that as an excuse to do what they really want to
Wanna
do in
do.
the first place.
If you
Yeah.
Like greed.
then they really didn't want to be
What did you
in a
just
relationship.
say?
I said greed.
Oh, greed.
Yeah, then
I thought you
if
said a name.
this is something that they still want to do, then they really didn't want to be in a relationship. They
Yeah.
just like the
I
idea
don't.
of being in a
I don't
relationship.
agree with that necessarily, but I follow.
If you are in a relationship, but you still want to be out there with messing around, then you really don't want that relationship. You like the idea of the relationship
Mhm.
because that idea is like, I got this person whenever I want them, but you really don't want that relationship. You still want to be out
Yes.
there.
I'm not gonna
that's-
touch that.
And that's the case with a
Ooh.
lot of things because people want their own business, but they don't want any of the responsibilities.
They
Yeah.
don't want to
Of
do
having
the
their own
damn
business.
work.
Right.
And it's
You
same
just
with
want the cupcake that
same
show
with,
up already made.
Same
They
with marriage
don't
and
want
You
to
don't want to
relationships.
get no flour on you.
People want relationships, marriage, boyfriend,
Oh.
girlfriend, whatever
Come
you
on.
want to call it, but they don't want to do any of the work or the
Right.
sacrifice
Let me tell
to have those
And
situations.
just because you have your own business does not mean you're rich. Just because you have your own business does not mean you're rich.
or
just
that you know what you're
because.
doing.
Or,
It's
hey,
true.
listen, my first year in business, Jesus Christ.
Man, the entrepreneur journey is not for everybody.
It's
It is
not.
It is not for
It's
everybody.
not. And there's nothing wrong with also
I
someone
don't got
that
no
works.
money.
See, and that's what happened that first episode. You said that. And I just simply said, yeah, you know.
No,
You
no.
might
Oh,
be
now it's
right.
I agreed. Aha.
Yeah.
Aha.
You
would
might
see
be
what it
right.
Yeah, no,
Can't be
fam.
too quick to co-sign.
Yo,
I'm beating myself
Look,
down.
Neil looked at me like, ooh, I said that? Yeah, you said that. dog. You said that, fam.
Well, I didn't mean it though. So
Wow.
Next, we were talking about supporting your person, your significant
do the
other,
grind, do the grind, do the grind.
through the grind.
But honestly, that topic was so relevant because, to be honest, like if you're in a long distance situation, or if you're a flight attendant, or your partner, it works a lot.
Has to be gone.
I'm sure sex is going to be reduced drastically.
Mhm.
So then you do have to come up with ways and be creative about how to keep the spice going
Mm-hmm.
and keep things hot and still exciting for your relationship when you're not getting what you need. I would actually have a question though through all of that conversation.
Oh shit!
Oh.
All right, go ahead, baby. Go ahead.
She
Go
was
ahead.
looking at you.
Go ahead. What's the question? What's the question?
I wanted to know, like, how did you do, sexually while we were away from each other when I was in Chicago?
Oh, no. That's the wrong response.
Man, listen. We'll be back in a few. I mean, I'll keep it as simple and cut and dry as I can. I mean, you talk to my partners, and they've told you what it is. Like, I have probably been the best man I have ever been to a woman with you.
That's and I appreciate that so much.
Like,
But
real talk.
how was it?
Oh,
not
how was
being
it?
able to,
Ooh.
like, easily access your partner?
Man. So listen, like I said, 2018, being on the road 75% of the time and being in like popping cities, like especially like cities where you know people. Like I was in Atlanta for like a month straight.
And you had some bitches to smash in Atlanta.
Look, all my ATL shouties, what up?
What up, nothing.
No, so
In fact, I'm gonna
I
put a block on this video.
I have
Atlanta.
a very intimate relationship with Atlanta, okay? Atlanta owes me nothing ever. And not from 2018. Let's get that clear. Not from
Hold on, you sound
2018.
a little bit too
Not
hard
from
talking about
2018.
this.
You
sound a
know.
little bit
So
too
listen.
hard.
All them
So
old thoughts.
Maria came and visited me while I was in Atlanta. I was in Atlanta for a month straight. I literally was there for a month straight. I went from the second week of June to the second week of July. I left Atlanta once and I went to Indianapolis for 4th of July because I had to work in Indianapolis that weekend, right? I flew right back to Atlanta. So my company had gotten me an apartment and everything for the month I was there. And pardon me. So I have plenty of friends in Atlanta, a lot. And me and you just had this discussion. We just remember about a month ago. And you were like, so I was telling you about the homegirl that lives in Atlanta now. And I was like, yo.
Homegirl.
I didn't even hit her up while I was there.
So she wasn't a homegirl. She was a past.
No, she wasn't a homegirl.
situation.
We're cool. Like, I haven't seen her. I haven't even seen her or spoken to her. And it's been a while, like even before me and you were together. But like, I did not even hit her up while I was there on some like, hey, I'm in town, let's link.
Yeah.
Because I just knew, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, nope, I'm not going to do it.
It's a good man.
I'm not going to do it.
The hair is standing up in
So-
my arms.
But it was rough, right? It was rough because as people, we're a species. Like, damn near every species is dogs hump, tigers, lions, bears. Like, it is
We
what
take
it
their
is.
balls out to make them stop.
It is.
So,
Ain't nobody
Well, I know you're not castrating me.
Right.
but I'm just saying, like, they have to have self-control. Does that mean because you a species?
When you ever seen a lion with self-control?
Everybody got to have
You're
self-control.
not supposed to have self-control?
Women got to have self-control.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I said we all have to have self-control.
Mm-hmm. And I appreciate you for being faithful. In this day and age, that sometimes is rare to have someone that's like
it was
genuinely
rough.
faithful.
It was rough. It was rough. Shout out to Mo, because Mo was like Mo was like my friend and enemy at that time, right? Not literally, but he was like, bruh. And then some days he was
Right.
like, bruh.
Depending on how he was feeling.
Right. So it was tough though. It was tough. And then you were in Chicago, like I said, and having to treat my son as a priority, through that time as well, because he was dealing with, for the first time, his dad being gone away from him for that amount of time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then me still knowing that me and you were cool, I'll fast forward in the relationship. Like, it got to a point where I was like, hey, I'm gonna expose this a little bit. Like, I was like, hey, we probably just shouldn't do this anymore, because I knew I wasn't giving you what you needed.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't necessarily like, I'm finna go out here and mess with these other chicks or nothing. It was just simply, I knew. And like, I kind of knew the inevitable would happen if I didn't.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was like, we can say we are who we are, and I never do that. Yeah, okay.
Right.
Until you right. I ain't a
The
killer, but don't push me.
happens.
You know what I'm
The
saying?
inevitable happens in our relationship.
And like, I knew, like I said, like I knew like it was coming, right? So I had to just kind of, I was like, listen, man, like, just go do you. Like, I was gonna be okay. Like, I was in Atlanta. I'm messing with you. I'm joking, y'all. I'm joking.
For a little while,
but it was definitely the test of a man, for sure. I wasn't really in St. Louis to get in any trouble. That probably was my saving grace, because I didn't have anything easily accessible here.
You did, but we won't get into that.
Stop. Stop.
But we won't get into that. We're gonna leave that where it is. But I just want you to know that I know that you did.
Oh my God. Listen.
But
I take care of my son.
That brings us to my question though, is like, how do you find that balance in your relationship when you have to do what you have to do and you need your partner to be understanding? Because like for me, I always look at these type of situations as like a love tank, right? You have like this tank, like almost like a tank of gas. And if you want something from it, you have to put something into it. Like, it doesn't operate off of nothing. And so if you are literally draining that love tank, where that person is coming to visit you all the time, but you're not reciprocating in any type of way. What?
I'm not gonna. You try to say it like I want to do nothing.
I wasn't even being specific to you.
Oh, okay,
Like,
okay.
man,
Continue. My bad, y'all. They're cut. Take two.
I'm just saying, like, if you're draining that love tank, how do you put something back into it when you're not able to put back into it what that person wants?
So I'm actually gonna hand that off to you all. You all been married for how many years? Let them know.
16.
16 years.
Going on 17.
Woo!
Yeah.
Congrats. I aspire.
When is your anniversary?
When is it, babe?
Look, you always gotta ask, right?
I'm saying August 16th.
Okay.
Myron, it was like this for him.
Yeah,
He was ready to go with that August 16th.
That's my cuz. That's my cuz.
I hate you.
I'm gonna hand it off to y'all because in 16 years, I mean, Jesus, like
Hey, we should write a book. Just know that.
you all should. Was not Russell Simmons, Joey Simmons run, and his wife, they got like a tour of talking about their marriage. They capitalizing on. They go to like the library and sit down with couples and talk.
Well, because they have money, it's probably a little bit different in our situation.
Soon.
Yeah.
Soon.
No, y'all sound off. How do you fill that tank up when somebody's on the move or somebody has I guess this is a different question, right? Like what do you do when you all aren't necessarily moving in the same direction?
Wow. That's if I'm being honest, that's most of the time. And I
Why are you looking? You don't need to look
no,
at me while
I'm
you
just
talking.
saying because you know,
Yep.
we're just we're strong people.
Mhm.
We have strong personalities, both of us, and we want what we want.
Why are you looking at me?
Because
I'm talking.
I'm talking about you, so
Oh,
I'm looking
okay.
at you.
Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that you can do that, but you have to have respect for what the other person is doing.
Yes.
At the same
that
time.
is
Okay.
important.
If you do that, then the opposite directions aren't that big of a deal. And that there's still a big deal, but
Mhm.
it's easier to take or easier
Yeah.
to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
So
Does that quick question? Does that come down to like you all kind of being on the same quote unquote wave, or is that just a common goal type deal?
I feel like it's a common goal.
Okay.
It's a common goal for us. I don't feel like we are necessarily on the same wavelength, but every marriage has its thing that they're always working through, and I think that's something for us.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, and that's natural, right? Like, I mean, y'all been in the game for a minute, so y'all know there ain't nothing wrong with that. But it's like,
right.
y'all know that not always are we going to necessarily agree, or we going to be on the same wavelength, or maybe even in our minds we not on the same wavelength, right? But another question. Go ahead. You were going to say something?
It feels drastic at first. What you're
Okay.
talking about, not having sort of like mind of your spouse. It feels drastic, like something is really, really wrong. And I'm not sure that it is because, you come into the situation as individual people. You have your dreams and goals that you want to meet.
Mm-hmm.
And they change a little bit when you get married, or sometimes, in some cases a lot, but you still are two different people.
Mm-hmm.
And, as long as the respect is there, you can continue to be two different people in this union.
Yeah.
Got it.
And that's probably actually really healthy because you're very independent, but you're able to be independent together. And I imagine that's probably a very healthy way to carry out a marriage versus being like totally dependent on somebody, and then that person changes, and so the other person's kind of like lacking now because they've been surviving off that codependency for so long.
Yeah.
We never
So-
had that problem.
No.
So
Never had
you guys
that
have
problem.
always been independent.
Yes.
So
to a fault.
Yeah, that's it. We say it like, oh yeah, of course, but
Right.
it's not always a good thing.
mhm.
I come from a family of like strong-willed women,
Mhm.
and that's just how I am. Not
And you know what them Lindsay's like. Saying. Yeah.
You say you got what kind of woman? You say, oh, okay.
anyway. So like I've just always it took me a long time to get to a point of just accepting myself anyway.
Mhm.
And once I was able to do that, it was like, oh, I'm not changing for nobody. Like, this is just who I am. Like,
Yeah.
Just
That's
as
another
a minor
episode.
example, when Myra met me, I had hair weave down to my butt. I wore makeup. And he used to always be like, oh, why you just won't wear your natural hair? Or why you just won't, why you wear makeup?
Mhm.
That's not the whole story, but
Okay, you can tell it when I get done. But my point is that I didn't wear hair weave because I didn't have hair.
Okay.
I just like to change my look.
Yeah.
And like
And you are a fashion designer. Just to put that out there. So shout out to Maverick Inc. But she's a fashion designer. So that
Right.
probably plays into you wanting to change your look all the time.
Yes, I mean, and I've just always been that way, like that, just naturally me. And so like I couldn't. I tried, like I wear a mohawk. This is just how I like to look. But I tried to grow my hair out,
Mm-hmm.
even because my husband wants to see me look a certain way. But after a while, I was like, okay, this is who I am. So then I shouldn't be trying to change who I am to conform to what my husband wants. Why don't he just accept this is who I am? Now,
Yeah.
I'm not talking about changing like bad habits and things, but like I'm talking about who you are. This is who I am. You know what I mean? I got out of partially being a flight attendant because I had to look a certain way and be a certain way. I could never be like look like this as a flight attendant. Like I had to conform to that industry. And so like that's part of the reason why, I had to get out. And so it's the same way, in my marriage. It's like I can't change who I am. If I'm independent, I'm independent, but I need you to, you know what I'm saying, accept that.
Yeah.
To be fair.
To be fair. Let's be fair.
I never wanted you to change.
But it was
okay. I had a fundamental
Pause.
I had a fundamental misunderstanding of what like hair weave and things like that meant to you particularly. I was thinking it was like, you know, something where you didn't like yourself, and that was my bad. I didn't know you as well as I know you now at that time. So I was trying to pull you out of it. I was trying to rescue you. And it was
he was trying to rescue you.
It was misguided.
Rescue me.
And that's all it was. I was never trying to
This is the
tell
first
you.
I'm ever hearing it is, but
Well,
okay.
that's the point.
You heard it here first.
Hey, right here.
Heard
on
it
Words
here
with Bae.
first.
Words of
Words
the
of
day
Bae.
is low key therapy. It's low key couples therapy.
Okay.
Will you all be next?
Self-instructed couples therapy.
We're going to have a retreat.
Words with Bae Retreat. Hey, real talk.
Hey, it can
That
be a
would be
thing.
dope.
It
That
can
would be dope.
a thing.
Words with Bae Retreat. Hey,
Come on.
coming
Yeah.
to a resort near you.
Yeah, there you go.
After the pandemic.
Of course. Yeah.
Still got to wear a mask though.
So I think that's something that I forgot it, but something that kind of hit me was, we were talking about filling up that tank. So I think you all had a moment there where you kind of figured something out. But was there anything additionally that either one of you were doing during the time that you all are apart? So you get that time together, and now we know I got this time with my significant other. What's happening? Is there like a special moment, or is it just chill, or
I don't think there was enough happening.
Mm.
I don't. I think that because by the time you were working as a flight attendant, we had been together for a long time, and there's a comfort to the point of almost laziness, for lack of a better word, that happens when you're with somebody for so long. And during the times that you would come home, it should have been, fanfare and, and the fireworks going off and things like that. But because we were so used to each other and accustomed to each other, it'd be like one, probably the first day. And then it would just kind of fall back into that normal routine.
Yeah.
Got it.
How long were you home for?
I would literally sometimes come home for one day. Like I would fly in for a day. I would be there for a day and then fly out the very next day. Mm-hmm. And that was on the more extreme part when I was actually living in Minneapolis and visiting home. Mm-hmm. But there was a time where I was gone for a whole month. Like I went to the Czech Republic for a whole month and a half.
I was so jealous, man. I was on a nasty.
I wanted him to be.
Did you guys have kids when you were? You guys must have had kids when you were flight attendant.
Our oldest is 18.
Plenty kids.
Yeah, I'm sure that made it even more challenging.
It does.
Yeah,
kids are. I mean, they're great. I'm not saying they are, but they're harmful to intimacy. Mm-hmm.
Man.
Yeah, it's rough.
I think that's something that sticks out for me. I guess I can apply this to you all as well. But I think that for me, we forget too, right? That life is still happening while all these things are going on while you're away, right? So that one day might be fireworks, but the next day it's like, bro, I'm tired.
This is what I'm saying, okay?
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm tired. Like, like cool out. And I think that, for us in particular, when I would be gone, right? Like we had a bad argument when I was in Atlanta, right? Because I think you had just left Atlanta, right? Or were you getting ready to come?
Alan, we had so many bad arguments when.
But there was a lot around Atlanta. There was a lot around Atlanta.
I don't remember there being a lot around Atlanta.
Yeah, so I remember I literally had just got done working like a 12-hour day, right? Like I was working. Did this day and came back around. So me and I'm not gonna say his name. Me and the boss had dinner with some clients that night, and you had hit me.
I wasn't in Atlanta with you.
You weren't in Atlanta. I know you weren't there with me.
You were in Atlanta, and I was in Chicago alone. And you went out for dinner that night
with clients.
Sure, with clients, and then after that, it wasn't with clients. You went out for dinner that night, and then you went out after dinner.
Now, keep in mind, I just worked a 12-hour day then.
So you should be tired and ready to go to bed.
I was, however.
But you weren't tired enough to go to bed, though, because you went out to the club.
The reality of working long hours is that you can't wind down like that. You have to slowly bring it back, usually with drinks and friends, and you see how I'm...
You're trying, but
no, I mean,
but it helps. It helps.
But this was like this day was like particularly long, right? Because like I said, it was a 12-hour day of actual work. Then client dinner.
Let's pause.
I'm not trying to get nobody on my side.
Because we're isolating one particular incident.
Okay.
And let's be honest about the fact that in our situation and in many situations, we're never talking about one incident. Okay. We're talking about a buildup. And so what you got was a buildup of me feeling like you were doing what you wanted to do. And also me feeling like I was not a part of those things that you wanted to do. And so therefore, again, something happened and it was triggering. And it was an explosion of a buildup that had been happening for a while of you going out and kicking it. And you just happened to be in Atlanta. I just happened to be a little jealous. So that kind of added to the problem. But that was not one isolated incident.
I think that, so... I'm with you on that. I give me a minute to respond. So that's real, right? And I think that even when I got my position here in St. Louis and I was kind of planning and running the business, I think that there's, and this is no diss to you or anybody else, I think that when you pick up those types of responsibilities, people that have not been through those things just don't understand, right? I'm a sales professional by day and I have a business, right? So I have to sell and run the business daily, and it requires a lot. So when somebody that has not necessarily like experienced that, when you have to hit sales quotas like every quarter and every month, and then you have to run a business and pay taxes every quarter and every month, you have to make sure your books are balanced. Like I can go on about that. That's here nor there because that's not what this is about. But taking on that new responsibility as a person that did not originally have their responsibility and trying to figure those things out, right? It becomes difficult. And you have the relationship, right? Like my homie that has built his business up, started in 2013. I remember, this individual going through things in their household. And those things were all bad until, he was sending wifey to Greece and Rome. And you know what I'm saying?
I mean, I'd be cool too if I was going to Greece and Rome.
I was tripping. Right? But it was all bad until then, right? And as a leader of your household, as the head of your household, and things of that nature, and then having to make hard decisions that ultimately affect your household, and then, having to have the household behind you, even when the household doesn't want to be behind you.
The household always wants to be behind you. The household just doesn't want to be neglected. And
until that argument happens and you like, oh, that's why you broke.
I feel what everything that you're saying and I agree with it. However, in my head, I'm still over here like, but what about us? Mm-hmm. So is it like, do we just stay neglected because you are the one that's out working? Do we just eat our feelings and say, I just have to deal with it? Like, at what point does the relationship become worth enough to start making sacrifice for it the way you make the sacrifice to do the other things?
Mm-hmm. Ooh, how long we got left?
I think the business in the beginning is such a fragile thing.
Mm-hmm. I didn't expect for it to be as bad and hard as it was. And I think that I know Alan, like, low-key tried to prepare me for it, but I think also
I did.
what frustrated me about it was that I almost feel like Alan went into the situation with the intent to not give it his all, and therefore he didn't give it his all. So then when things didn't turn out the way that it could have, it was like, well, see, I told you it was going to be bad. And it's like, well,
That's not true.
Did you go into it actually trying to give it your all, or did you go into it knowing that it could be really bad, so that's how you treated it?
I went into it knowing that life can happen.
So it sounds like the latter of what I just said.
No. I wouldn't agree with that. I think that for me, I knew that, and I tell you this all the time, right? Like, it's no secret. We have a pretty close to 10-year gap between us in age. I've been around the block. I done spun them blocks. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know what it entails, right? I know the amount of work that a relationship entails. And I know not generally, well, I know generally, but not specifically, what happens when somebody's gas tank is not being filled. I know what happens when I'm feeling a certain type of way. I know what happens when you feel a certain type of way, right? And these are all generalizations, purely. But what's the saying? There's nothing new under the sun. That's what the old heads tell you, right? Nothing new is gonna happen. Like,
so here's my question though: if you know what happens when someone's love tank is not filled, if you know what could potentially happen in a relationship when someone is alone or whatever, and you care about that person, why would you not put forth the extra effort or go the extra mile to make sure that those needs are met? And that takes me back to love languages, because let's say you can't be with me physically. So therefore, that need cannot be met.
Oh, okay.
Receiving gifts is my next second love language. So
yes.
So where's the creativity to make sure that needs are still being met even throughout that process and that grind?
So I'm going to tell you a few things, right? Because I just heard everything you said. Number one, I suck at being creative. That's number one, okay? Number one, I suck.
That's
at
like
being
the
creative.
first time you've ever. I mean, I've always known.
DJ.
No, so shout out to my homie Nick. Nick, I reach out to him a lot when it comes to being creative because he's just a creative person. Half of the things that I've done for you have been lackluster in what Nick has actually told me to do, right? So
Not only do you suck at creativity, but you also suck at execution.
thanks, babe.
Wow.
Thanks, babe. Look, thanks, babe. Look,
I thought we agreed on that.
Look, how many of my babes out there listening? How many of my babes out there listening? Look,
already. For real.
look,
Pretty much, yeah.
who's trying to keep me happy out here?
Me.
You made me forget my other damn point. You were talking about.
Let me text Nick and let him know what I like.
Oh, Jesus.
I see that's who you go into to get, advice and stuff. Let him know.
Yeah, Nick, I reach out to him a lot because I suck at creative. I'm not in relationships. I'm just not creative. I'm not, right? Like, it's like, do you want these shoes? Do you want this purse? Like, I'm gonna get you these crab legs and let's call it a day. You know what I'm saying? Like,
crab legs pretty good.
but believe it or not, a lot of women are okay with
Just
that.
that simple,
Like, yeah, they're good. They're like, oh well, girl, he got me crab legs and he got me this Gucci purse and I'm good. He got me the new Prada shades. I'm good. Like, right? Like, I got homies that actually. I'm gonna go back in my past a little bit, babe. But I was going through a really bad breakup at one point in time, and one of my guys was out here in the streets. I don't even know where he's at now. Probably gone because I ain't heard from him, seen him. But I remember he was like, "Man, just buy that bitch a purse, bro." I was like, Jesus.
Oh, so he's like profound, man. He's like a yogi or something.
Yeah, just buy that bitch a purse.
Bam, just put it out there.
Just buy the bitch a purse, bro. Like, but that works for some people, like I said, But I'm trying to get back to the point I had. I was talking about creativity because you made a couple of points. You were saying that
doing your best to meet the needs of your partner.
Doing your best to meet your needs of the partner, and that was my other point, right? sometimes your partner is just so engulfed in what's going on, right? Because here's the truth of the matter. Here's the truth of the matter.
Hold on, because I had a full-time job.
Yes, and I'm not going to go there with you right now, but
Let's see what he was going to say.
no.
My job was not.
That's not what I was going to say.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what I was going to say at all. But the truth of the matter is that sometimes you're so fully engulfed in what's going on and what you have to do, because here's the real truth, right? I can be getting it and get somebody else. Everybody is going to talk down on me when I'm broke. You, your friends, your mama, everybody, everybody entails. Everybody going to talk like y'all talk all this. Oh, we hold black men down and black women. Y'all do. I'm with you. But when these situations arise, when you tired of the broke nigga and I'm tired of you, why I gotta pay for everything and and I can go get another nigga that's gonna do this, and this for me. He told me he
But you
would,
can't live 2 places at one time.
and it's one has to lose, and lose is a poor choice of words. Go ahead.
Sorry, I don't mean to cut you.
Go ahead. Get it.
I hear you. However, if you got the real one, it don't matter if you broke and how long you broke. Because one, she already believe in you and know that ain't forever. 2, listen, why you laughing?
Oh shit!
I'm gonna tell you why I'm laughing after you finish your point.
Because I want to know.
I'm gonna be quiet.
Yeah, I want to know why you laughing. Anyway, like I'm saying, it don't matter. It don't matter. She could probably go out.
These chocolate covered almonds
All
from
in the
Sam's
mic
a hit. What kind of mics you say these was, babe? She's good.
It's like go ahead, get it.
Okay, it's real, y'all. It's real, okay? But no, if she real, she could go out and probably get whoever she want to get. But if she trying to be with you, don't none of that matter.
Have you ever been with somebody that you got to pay for everything for? Like all meals, all dates, all rent, all everything. Where you got to pay for everything. It's easy to say that, but like it's women out there that's actually dealing with this, where they got somebody sitting up that brings nothing to the table.
But see, that's the difference. That's the difference.
So whether they real or not.
No, that's the difference, because you have to know that you don't have that kind of man. So if you not working, I know it's not because you just being a lazy bum.
So it's got less to do with you being real and more to do with you knowing the person.
Well, it's twofold.
Because you could be real as all get out. If you got a bum on your couch, it ain't gonna make no difference.
I just said it could be twofold. It needs to be twofold.
Baby, give me the PlayStation 5.
Right.
It has to be twofold. You have to be the real one, but then you have to also know you have a real one.
Yes.
And like I was saying, as I was complimenting you, you have to know, like, you not working, I know that's not because you don't want to work or take care of your family. So I would never question or be like, okay, so when you get in a job, I would never do that, because I don't feel that way. I'm going to do what I need to do for however long I need to do it until you can do what you need to do. But that's because I know I have that kind of man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I know I have that kind of husband. I'm not saying you need to be doing that with just any old body, because no woman should be laying up taking care of no. But I'm saying I'll take care of my husband.
You was going to say
because I know
nigga,
what kind of
you?
husband I have.
No, I was getting ready
Said
to
no
say.
woman be laid up taking care of no
programming.
No.
You really wanted to say.
I mean,
no.
yeah. But if you know you got one that's he not broke because he want to be, then I'm like, yes, will I work a job while my husband? I sure will, happily.
For the record, we're talking about people who are doing what they're at least trying, putting forth the effort to do what they're supposed to be doing,
right,
in a relationship.
No bums,
not people who are taking advantage.
Exactly.
Yeah. What if? No, I'm not gonna do that. What if right now? I'm not gonna do that one. But
let's play that game.
So if if I need what you have going on to advance what I have going on, right? Like you're essentially contributing. You're my investor at this point.
Right.
But we still gotta live our quality of life, right? Not necessarily the quality, but we still gotta maintain.
Right. Don't go backwards.
Right. We still gotta go on dates. We still gotta, you know what I'm saying? Like all this relationship wise. Are you good? Like it's not a matter, like you said, like, right, you got to know you had a one. And I think we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Like, how long are you the one, right? Like, I know my man, but then what if I say it take 12, it's going to take me 12 months, baby. 12 months turn to 48 months or 72 months. Like, you getting them Fed bids. Right. Sir, you got 72 months.
Well, do you know what's going on? If you just laid up every day playing video games and doing nothing, and I see this with my own eyes, then yeah, this is a problem. This is going to have to end.
That's
Somebody
different.
Just laid up playing video games, anyway.
But then if I know that you are, going to job interviews and you're, seeking out work and you
ain't no interviews. You're my investor. That
ain't how you holding down the house while I'm doing XYZ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If that's the agreement now we're going into a whole other one. Now, if you saying like I'm holding down the house while you pursuing this goal or this dream that you have, that's different.
Okay.
Than holding down the house because this person ain't working or can't work or whatever the case may be. That's right, but them two totally different things.
Alan's point is, what if the timeline shifts from 1 year to 4 years, 5 years? Whatever the number is.
Well, that depends on like you, and if you all put a timeline on it, then then that's something that you have to deal with it. But when you out here, when you pursuing a goal, a dream, or whatever, especially something that's out of the norm, then you can't necessarily put a timeline on it. Now, if you believe in it, so you're doing it. Listen, and so this is solely my opinion. Okay, you can't put a timeline. Can you go ask Oprah and all these other people out here? Did you have a timeline? Did you say I'm going to do this, and I have to be at this point in this year where you are now, or did you have to just go at it, even when it didn't look like you should have been going at it? You had to go at it because you believed in it, and you had to just keep going until you got to the point.
To be fair, also, Oprah did her own thing,
but she also wasn't broke that entire time. Right. She was bringing in money.
Right.
So for me, I think it's important to see progression. No matter what you're doing, if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, there's going to be some level of progression. It may not be the amount of progression that you want. It may not be as fast as you want or look the way that you want. But as long as there's progression in whatever you're doing, and I can see that you're being very intentional with your time, I'll be flexible with you as long as that makes sense for our family. Like, no, I'm not going to be cool with us being homeless and you still talking about being a world-renowned DJ. Like, bro, we're homeless.
Right. Well,
what are you talking about?
We're going to sleep on these turntables. We're going to sleep on these turntables.
Exactly. Like, that's no longer realistic. Now I need you to be a DoorDash delivery driver to get us out of sleeping on turntables. So
we're going to sleep at the club, baby.
No. So that's where, like, I think that as long as you're able to sustain, not to say that you have to, like, for example, you said date nights have to continue. Date nights don't have to look the same that they did when we had it. Like, they can change the way they look. They can be free. So as long as we're able to sustain a decent standard of living and you are also seeing progression in your career because you're putting forth the work, I'm okay with continuing to adjust as needed and being flexible in the relationship.
All right. Well, I'm good with it. So I'm gonna start wrapping out. I'm gonna let y'all kind of close this out. Anything you want to, not necessarily get off your chest, but anything y'all want to shoot out
y'all want to
and talk to them. Talk to them, right?
Like, you guys want to, like, make sure y'all good on any points?
Yeah, talk to the folks, man.
I just like to say that relationships require work.
I took the words right out of my mouth.
So y'all are on the same wave.
Exactly. Just that it's not always easy, but it is rewarding. So try to keep that in mind, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Marriage is work, so don't ever go into it thinking it's going to be all roses and daisies. You have to put in the work every day. It never stops. The work never, ever, ever stops.
Ever.
Until your relationship stops. That's when the work stops. If the relationship ain't stopping, then the work ain't stopping.
There we go,
Yeah.
babe. What you got going on? Holla at me.
I think
Holla at them.
that, well, I'm gonna holler at you.
Oh,
a second.
here we go.
I think that no matter what happens in our relationship, however it unfolds,
Mhm.
not to put your business out there again, but
We 3 times in now.
and however it unfolds, I think that as long as we stay committed to the end goal, which is to one, get married, and 2, not ever get a divorce. If we stay committed to those goals, I
Mhm.
think that, and however that looks, and constantly putting the other person's needs first,
Okay.
sometimes before your own, I think we'll be okay. Like
All the time before your own.
mm-hmm.
That's,
And that's
all
the hard
the time
part.
before
you
your
just-
own.
You done built it back up now.
Because if he's putting
There we
your
go.
needs before his, and you're putting his needs before yours, your needs both getting met.
Right.
So
this is where the real one really comes into play.
and this is where that work come in
the
too.
person that could really look at you and say, I'm going to take care of you, knowing that if you're well, you're going to take care of me. It's not
That's
easy as it
a
sounds.
very
Yep.
that's a huge sacrifice. Is to take care of somebody else before yourself and hope that they will take care of you back.
Yeah. Even if it's your son that you ain't seen because you've been on the road.
Alan, you're trying to do something completely different. This is not what we were talking
Deflect.
about.
There you go.
Hey, real talk, y'all. We gonna sign off. Words with Bay. You all
Till
see,
next time.
Yeah, y'all see Myron and Karima again. We gonna have
Thank
them
you
in and out of here. We
guys
appreciate
Next
so
time
y'all
we'll
for
try to
real.
stay on track.
Thank you guys so much.
Tell
for
them where they
being
can holler
our
at us
first
at.
guest.
Do y'all want to put y'all anywhere y'all want them to holler at you at, or
Hey, I'm social media dark. You know.
okay, yeah, you do
But
it.
shout out to Maverick Inc. though.
Shout out to Maverick Inc. Woo, can't see the back of the jacket. It's all right. Yeah, go follow me at the Maverick Inc. on Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay.
Our first couple. So in 10 years, we're going to look back on this video and be like, man, that video was so raggedy.
Right. Yeah.
But thank you guys for being with us in the trenches.
Thank
in the
you for
beginning.
having us.
It's been fun.
was
We appreciate it. Yeah. Follow us on Instagram at words.with.bay. Email us at wordswithbay@gmail.com. I am Allen I am ALLENEYE. All my social media handles. We gonna leave you
Yeah,
alone
skip
because you
me.
ain't. Yeah,
I'm social media like.
Oh, you
You're a
guys
leper.
can go
Dark.
sign up for my email list. MaverickIncCo.com. Got some new
say
stuff
it one more
that's gonna
time
be
for
coming
him.
out.
Say it one.
Maverick Inc. Co. MaverickIncCo.com. Sign up for the
MaverickIncCo.com.
Maverick Inc.
Okay. We out this thing. Y'all take it easy. We will see you on the go round with the go round. Words with Bay. Get at us. Peace out.